Now, going to Dr. Corsi, formerly of WorldNet Daily, great outfit as well, 3-time #1 New York Times bestseller, author, just award-winning investigative journalist, Harvard expert, of course, on finance and more, worked at the State Department, anti-terrorism. We'll just leave it at that. Dr. Corsi, I've never, in my 22 years, it had never been such a whirlwind of breaking info. In the real media, this is a firestorm, but outside of it, zero, crickets.
Well, first of all, what we did last night in terms of showing that Donald Trump was wiretapped starting in 2004 and producing that evidence has gone viral. Now, the mainstream media, I think, is really at a loss for how to respond to this because it beats their narrative. The phone numbers on that list are authentic. There are phone numbers including Donald Trump's cell phone, his employees, his family. His wife was being wiretapped. This all comes from Operation Dragnet, which was an NSA operation. I think is still probably going on. I don't know if they ever really ended it. And it ends, Comey is sitting in front of the House Intelligence Committee parsing words. He's saying, I don't have any evidence that Obama ordered the wiretapping. Well, the point is, under the law, the president doesn't order the wiretapping. If somebody had asked Comey, FBI director, well, in fact, was Donald Trump wiretapped in this period of time? Comey'd have to say, yes, of course. You didn't ask me that question. You just asked me if Obama ordered it. Well, Obama not ordering it is kind of like the Watergate defense when Richard Nixon said, I didn't order the break-in. He still was impeached because he was in the process of being impeached because he, did not and would not fess up to his responsibility for encouraging his operatives to wiretap.
That's right. Let's be clear. That's key. The Republicans and Democrats are all out to get Trump up there. They're all parsing words and pre-scripted stuff with Comey. It's totally clear, giving him the softball questions to get out of the, answering truthfully.
Yeah, and it's truthfully disinformation because Comey knows that Trump was wiretapped and extensively since 2004, that it went on during the Obama administration. We have no indication it ever quit. That we have Trump's cell phone numbers, his family numbers, his employee numbers, all these different locations. It's a farce. And Comey knows it's a farce. What they won't do is they won't expose the fact there's massive illegal activity that's been going on in the NSA and in the Department of Justice over wiretapping and other surveillance of individual Americans, millions and millions, with the data collected, not just metadata, but the data collected at conversations, emails, financial records, credit card records.
Sure, and let me expose this as well. Newsmax, Larry Klayman. Nunes must ask FBI's Comey about Montgomery mass surveillance case. That's what was brought to Arpaio and others. That's where the documents come from. We've checked the numbers, checked it all. It is an NSA system similar to the ones they're using in the DEA with access to the NSA database. That all came out in the parallel production, parallel structuring cases where they are pretending like they're not illegally spying via the NSA and then going and parallel construction, creating new fake cases based on the illegally obtained surveillance. We're going to link to this Newsmax story in our article as well. But this is so huge that, again, they would say they're surveilling Trump and have the proof. Trump goes, well, it's illegal to say you had that. He has them. Dead to rights, it's felonies, those felony leaks. And they've asked those questions today, and the NSA director admitted that it's very serious. Then they turn around and say, okay, we never had the evidence, plus we weren't surveilling, you're crazy. And then the media acts like Trump's been caught in something. It's insane.
Well, and also, look, what we have on today, the new article we just broke, where we have, in fact, today we're able to publish the phone numbers and the IP addresses because this document was made public in a federal court. And by the way, no one in the federal government's ever come by to repudiate this. It's been offered, say, please prove this is false. They haven't done it. And they haven't done it with the database from Montgomery that we revealed yesterday. Now, what this shows is the Department of Justice, when they were prosecuting Sheriff Arpaio, were also wiretapping and talking to the judge. Department of Justice was calling and speaking with Judge Murray Snow, who was the judge that was put in to handle the case, even though he'd made very derogatory statements.
No, let's talk about how Arpaio got this information.
Well, again, this is all was created. What they did is they asked Montgomery to basically go in and reconstruct what was happening in the case. And this was put together by the same whistleblower who said, you want to know what's happening? The DOJ is talking to the judge. Here are the phone numbers that are being used. You can see the phone numbers from Washington calling the Department of Justice into the judge's office. But I defy anybody to show those aren't the right numbers. And then you've got the IP addresses. You've got the Department of Justice put on wiretap number 56990-34, block 602-920-4000. Well, that's Arpaio's phone numbers right there. And then they breach all domains and subdomains of Maricopa government with Maricopa County government, the sheriff's office, and you've got the IP addresses, 1.5.42.184.18. Now, this information has been available. We're the first to really publish it. Been introduced in federal court, and the Department of Justice and the NSA have never come back and said this is not true. And what it shows is that while the Department of Justice, and by the way, this prosecution was brought by Tom Perez, who's a La Raza operative.
So we've got La Raza operatives basically tied into this whole situation, NSA databases, you name it. Imagine what Hitler would have done with this type of technology. Stay there, Doc. Doc, we got to go to break. We'll be right back. I don't think you can hear me. We'll be right back with Dr. Jerome Corsi. Stay with us. I'm Alex Jones. Tell everybody you know to tune in. They don't want you to hear this. Dr. Corsi, what do you make of this? This is just unbelievable.
Well, I think, first of all, the mainstream media does not know how to handle this information. We're publishing it, and if it's been out there in federal court, it's, especially today, with this timeline of intervening and judge tampering with the DOJ, wiretapping Sheriff
unbelievable.
While the court was going on, Tom Perez was behind this case in the Department of Labor. He's now head of the DNC. He's the guy they just elected the head of the DNC. He's La Raza. He went after Arpaio. And while he was there, he and Eric Holder, they spoke to the judges. They wiretapped the judges. They were wiretap calling the judges. The NSA came in. We've even got the wiretap number. We've got the verification that was set on Sheriff Arpaio's cell phones and his other office phones. We've got the IP addresses for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Department office. Now, if this was not true, certainly in the last several years, the federal government would have come out and repudiated all this. They haven't. We begged them, say, if this is not true, prove it's wrong. But they got to prove it's wrong.
And by the way, we got permission from Arpaio. We're getting some feedback there. We got some permission from Arpaio to be able to put this out. This is his home numbers, office numbers, family, IP addresses. This is Arpaio's stuff, and this is what he was being surveilled in the case. You talk about illegal on so many fronts. This is bombshell. I don't know how they're going to ignore this, and Arpaio can certainly sue over all this. They're trying to put him in prison right now for contempt.
And I think what we've been doing, I've been making sure the White House has been informed of this every step of the way. The White House has seen Trump's phone numbers that are on the operation.
Yeah, let's be clear. Before we ever published, you called, they checked, the president was shown. He's like, yeah, that's my numbers. I mean, I know, I've got all three of these numbers.
And we're going to make sure they see, the article of the day. I'm going to make sure they see the timelines, make sure they have all in the White House, make sure the top aides have seen all this. And then we're talking with Congress, key members of Congress, to make sure this gets in front of congressional investigations. And finally, it's got to get to Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General. So, Sheriff Arpaio has said over and over again, he wants to come and testify in Congress. He wants to share this information with the Department of Justice. And all the Department of Justice does, all the FBI does, is stonewall. They send Comey up there, and Comey says, there's no evidence of President Obama.
Sure, but the problem is they all brag they were spying on Trump. We got them on TV and in print, and then now they're trying to back off of that. We'll be back in 70 seconds with Dr. Corsi, and we have the detective coming on with all this. This is huge, folks. If you get this out, it is a major blow against the enemy. It's up to you. Get the articles. Get the articles out. Get the articles out, Infowars.com. Well, it's high noon Central Time, Texas time. When that sun is high in that Texas sky, I'll be bucking at the county fair. Well, I'll be here on the air. It is surreal to know that we have memories. We remember them saying they were surveilling Trump and his people, and they had all the evidence. They had the transcripts. And then Trump said, that's illegal to leak that. And they went, oh, we don't actually, well, we have transcripts, but there's no evidence you're Russian, so let's just not worry about that for a minute. And then he goes, yeah, and you're wiretapping me. And they go, oh, no, no, no. This is such a big deal. And then every news channel is, boy, Trump got caught. He's an idiot. Everybody knows nobody's getting listened to in America. Look at Conway. She says appliances are listening to you. That's only been in about 5,000 newspapers over the years. Of course, we broke it. Yes, InfoWars first broke it 12 years ago. We're on record. In fact, they even say, look at the crazy Alex Jones. He was the first one to say this. Yeah, because Google put out a internal press release to its stockholders about how they were listening to folks in their houses and creating a database of the text, creating a text document, and then selling advertising targeting you specifically off what's going on in your house. Wow. And so here we are, though. Trump's this big idiot, according to them. Dr. Corsi, we're going to hold you over a little bit. This is a short segment. What do you make, though, of this just mass attempt? They're clearly going after him, saying it's impeachable and all this other crap. What should the president do? Do you agree he should get on the offense? Sessions is starting to clear out the Justice Department. It's not political. These are criminals coming after him. They've committed illegal spying. They've done all these horrible things. They're trying to destroy him. I mean, the president has got to go after him.
Got to go after them. I mean, President Trump has got to make it clear that he knows he's been under surveillance, and the proof is in this database, this Operation Dragnet database. He's got to go and help Sheriff Arpaio get a hearing with the Justice Department before they criminally convict him of contempt in a trial that the DOJ did, again, illegal interfering, judge tampering.
Talk about a mistrial by every law out there now. It's got to be a new trial.
It's got to be a new trial. And the people in the Department of Justice, including Tom Perez, who's head of the DNC, former La Raza, needs to be brought to justice. He was so determined to convict Arpaio that they had the NSA, the DOJ, wiretap the judge while they were calling the judge and talking to the judge during the trial, working and behind the scenes to have all the emails captured, the NSA, the IP addresses, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, wiretapping Arpaio's home phone and his cell phone during the trial. This department, what kind of a Department of Justice and NSA, what kind of a government is this? And
again, another contractor that's involved with the telecoms and NSA brought all this to him 2 years ago. The detectives coming on. This has even been brought up, and they don't care. They're just moving forward, even though they have the evidence, the numbers, how they did it all. Incredible.
With their own lying narrative, their own mem, their own, well, Obama never ordered. Well, of course he didn't order. The law says he couldn't order any more than Nixon ordered wiretapping.
They're playing legalese games.
Yeah, I did not have sex with that woman. That's one of those games.
Yeah, because fellatio isn't the act of coitus.
Right, sex. So exactly. And that's the distinctions they're trying to draw. And so if you say to Comey, well, was Trump ever wiretapped? Oh, yeah, well, yes, of course, but you didn't ask me that question. That's the kind of nonsense, and that's the complete corruption at the heart of the FBI, at the heart of Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch's Department of Justice.
The total arrogance that she would sit there and meet on an airplane with Bill Clinton during a criminal investigation, it just shows the wantonness. So if Trump just does his duty, if Sessions just does his duty, then these people are going to be in big trouble. Let's talk about how that plays out with Detective Zullo straight ahead, and stay with us a little bit more. Doc, I know you have some more stories to work on for Infowars.com. That's our Washington Bureau Chief right there.